3 mistakes I made after getting diagnosed with celiac disease and going gluten-free. Keep in mind, this was 20 years ago, before the internet was really a thing and before we could all learn from each other. The first one was just swapping out my gluten-filled foods for gluten-free foods, because the gluten-free alternatives on the market are just not that good for you. It's basically a bunch of preservatives and food that shouldn't be conducive to healing. The second one was not reading the labels fully and realizing that some of my gluten-free alternatives were actually made in facilities where there was gluten being produced. So I was getting cross-contaminated. Even though the ingredients of the food were gluten-free, the cross-contamination was still a big deal. And lastly, assuming that just things like salt were gluten-free and not looking at the label, some salts actually have been made in gluten-free facilities, or they'll add that as a filler, just like spices and everything and tea bags. And so really just focusing on making sure I was reading the ingredients, the words like natural flavors, just don't. Once I finally figured all of the mistakes that I was making, I was actually able to heal, but there are some big things that you have to change lifestyle-wise once you get a diagnosis like celiac.